Palais by SAT. Look, some good news. Hold on. Palais? Yes, that's right. Well, SAT has something called, hold on, Palais. Look, talk, SAT is having a special for this independence season, and you need to get connected to enjoy the benefits. It's called Palais. Once you set up and connected with SAT, you can talk to your mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, stepmother, stepbrother, stepsister, the whole step. Palais is so sweet with your connection to SAT Telecoms, and especially when you get your internet connection, no hidden fees, no hidden charges. You get free SAT to SAT telephone connection. You also get free installation, and you get no charges on your talk time. And you get your telephone for free. Oh, baka pay boy, you don't hear? Palais, baka do. So you have at home your TV, SAT TV. You have your internet, SAT internet. And now, phone, look at Palais. All your talk is sweet. Hello. Take advantage of one of SAT's 5 internet packages in our Palais specials. You can get the Breezy, the Warm-Up, the Maverick, the Jetstream, and the Warp Drive. Don't forget the Palais. These packages starting at $28.75. Palais. Yeah, don't forget from SAT. This independence season, don't forget it's happening at SAT. Palais. Festival, c'est manger. Tout le monde, manger. Mais SAT, c'est Palais. Yep, Palais. Yes.
SAT Telecoms would like to inform their customers that the Granby area will experience an outage from November 9th, 2012 from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We appreciate your cooperation during this time and apologize for any inconvenience caused.
Good evening, I am Misha Charles and I am your presenter for today. Thank you for joining me for SAT TV News. Among the major developments, vendors complain of lack of tourist spending. Curacao still struggling to form coalition government. President Barack Obama defeats Romney to win re-election. And in sports, West Indians Tino Best and Devon Smith are among 16 players suing for unpaid money. Details of these and other stories after the break. Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. Speaking at a workshop for agricultural ministers in the Caribbean, Agriculture Minister Honorable Matthew Walters says this workshop was necessary to find ways and means to addressing agricultural challenges in the region. He said although they are tasked in the region to make life easier for their people, they face roadblocks such as food insecurity, which must be dealt with as a collaborative effort.
Every single country in the Caribbean region, there is, a level of poverty, and certainly we have to work, extremely hard to alleviate, reduce, and ultimately to eradicate poverty, because poverty is not nice. It's not a nice thing, and all of us, would like to see every single citizen of our respective countries, they are enjoying life just as we are enjoying life, and that is fundamental.
Mr. Walters said through the generation of employment, economic activity is generated. He added one of the serious problems the region is facing is the issue of climate change, and research has revealed that the Caribbean is the most vulnerable region with respect to climate change. Mr. Walters said it is incumbent that all Caribbean leaders consolidate their resources to find ways and means whereby they can mitigate and adapt to climate change.
We have a situation where we need to generate more foreign exchange earnings for respective countries, okay? And also to stimulate economic activities. But the question is, how do we achieve all those specific objectives? To achieve those specific objectives, we have to be organized in what we do. We have to plan well, okay? And we do not have to duplicate the resources that we have. we have to ensure that, when we invest the resources that we have, we invest the resources well, and the resources will be able to redound, to the benefits of the people of the region.
The Agriculture Minister said it is critical that we build on our synergies, as too many times we try to be individualist like we know it all when the solution is working together. He pointed out those organizations such as the Inter-American Institute for Caribbean Agriculture, the Food and Agriculture Organization, and the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, CARDI, among others with interest in agriculture. Working with such organizations will aid in developing agriculture in the region to where it needs to be while strengthening ties with each other.
Productivity is another very important aspect. Because if we want to use agriculture as a driver to stimulate growth and development in our respective countries, we must focus on productivity. Okay? And this is a key word also, competitiveness. Because we are not only focusing on, making food available for our respective countries. This is critical. Yes, this is critical. But we need to generate foreign exchange. How do we generate foreign exchange? And we need to export. And if we have to export, we also have to be competitive.
Mr. Walter pointed out that in order to penetrate the international market, we need to focus on SPS standards, which are very important, which is again a collaborative effort of all Caribbean leaders. 4 Dominicans received the Lifetime Award for their significant contribution to the development of labor management relations in Dominica. The awards were presented by the Dominica Employment Federation, the DEF, at a ceremony on Tuesday, November 6, 2012. President of the DEF, Mr. Clement Montgomery Carty, said some of the objectives of the Federation are to interpret labor laws and the lobbying of policymakers.
The point being made here is that the organization has had to broaden the scope of its activities to include roles in social engineering, trade and general civil matters in order to maintain relevance to the needs of employers in these times of much diversity, recession, changing market modalities, trade regimes, and a very litigating society.
In recent times, training has been the #1 issue for employers, and the Federation has developed impact courses targeting particular gaps in the training courses out there and hands-on skills.
Our core competence is in labor management, industrial relations, collective bargaining, contracts, and conflict resolution. As most of you would know, the traditional labor management services delivered by organizations like ours no longer have a large audience. Our ability to remain abreast with the diversified contemporary needs of enterprise is one we have to invest in. Over the coming years, the Federation will have to address the continuing professional development of its core staff with a view to making investments in their intellectual capacity.
Dr. Eisenhower Douglas, who represents the Ministry of Employment, Trade Industry and Diaspora Affairs, says in Dominica there are many agencies that deal with imports and exports, and these have great implications for employment.
In addition to that, you have the Dominica Bureau of Standards, again another agency which deals with both imports and exports. And I want to announce here that just last week, there was a team here from the CARICOM Development Fund indicating that they had approved close to $7 million for activities undertaken in Dominica, some of which is going to be going in the whole area of standards and export development.
He says that employees should take every opportunity to broaden their skills so that they will have a fighting chance in this fast-paced world that we live in today. The 4 persons being honored were Mrs. Shirley A. Guy, Mrs. Audrey Thomas, Mr. Cecil A. Burton, and Mr. Ensley L. Pierre. The Lifetime Awards were presented by the President of Dominica, His Excellency Eliud T. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President, and Mr. Tong will take you back to your seat.
And in more news, following Barack Obama's victory in the United presidential elections, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit lauded the relationship between Dominica and the United States of America and his relationship with President Barack Obama. The Prime Minister said he was very pleased with the outcome of the election, adding, "We have always enjoyed a close relationship with the United States of America, and President Obama is a true friend." He continues, "I have discussed our development plans with him on several occasions, and he has always been cordial and attentive." Prime Minister Skerrit expressed his desire to strengthen relations with the United States, noting that U.S. foreign policy is increasingly focused on anti-terrorism activities and dealing with global hotspots rather than developmental issues, particularly those of the Caribbean and Latin America. Hopefully, this will improve going forward. As is customary, an official congratulatory message will be sent to President Obama on behalf of the government and people of the Commonwealth of Dominica. In more news, 2 men are currently nursing serious injuries at the Princess Margaret Hospital after sustaining stab wounds on Monday, November 5th, during the post-Community Day of Service street jump-up in Roseau. Acting Police Public Relations Officer Inspector Richmond Valentine says at about 8:30 p.m. on Monday, 25-year-old Segal Cockard of Portisville was involved in an altercation with another man on Cock Street, which resulted in Mr. Segal sustaining a stab wound to his abdomen. He was transported to the Princess Margaret Hospital and soon after taken to the theatre for surgery. Also on Monday, about 9 p.m., a 26-year-old Elvis Ducre sustained a stab wound to his abdomen. According to Inspector Valentine, Mr. Ducre said he was standing on Great George Street when he was stabbed by an unidentified man. He was transported to the PMH and admitted. Both men are reported to be in stable condition. The street jump-up, which was scheduled to end at 10 p.m., came to an abrupt stop at 9:35 p.m. as a result of the stabbing incidents. The sudden stop left many Bouillon fans who were enjoying themselves to music from the WCK Band and Triple K Global disappointed. And police has confirmed that the burnt vehicle found in the Layo area belongs to the man who went missing over the weekend. Acting Police PRO Richmond Valentine says on Monday, November 5th at about 4 p.m., a burnt vehicle was discovered in the Clark Hall area of Layo Valley. Police officers were summoned to the scene where the remains of the vehicle was processed and stored in police custody for further inspection. Inspector Valentine said, according to records obtained from the Inland Revenue Division, the burnt vehicle remains is that of the Toyota RAV4 registration number PS496. The RAV4 is registered in the name of Kervin Rocks Christopher and Ellen Lawrence of Goodwill. The police have reported Mr. Christopher as missing on Friday, November 2nd. He was last seen driving a RAV with registration number PS496 around 10 a.m. Anyone who might have seen Christopher are urged to contact the police station at 448-2222 or call the police hint line at 1-800-4468. And in more news, the parliamentary representative for the Roseau Central constituency, Honorable Norris Prevost, is saying that tourists are not spending any money this season. Since the start of the cruise season, the vendors have said that they have had little income from the ships, and this is worrisome. Mr. Prevost says he is seriously concerned about this decline and the government needs to be more proactive with their efforts to revive the industry.
We have seen the cruise visitors decline from 550,000 in 2006, and this year is expected to go down to as low as 225,000. That is more than a 60% decline. This is having very, very serious impact on the lives and the business and the lives of the vendors and the other tourism providers who depend on that cruise sector for their businesses to survive, to make a livelihood, and to support their families.
Carnival Cruise Line was one of the ships that would come to Dominica on a regular basis. Mr. Prevost says that when he was tourism minister, he had issues with them, but there was constant communication to maintain that Dominica remained one of their priority destinations.
I know what it means to have a cruise ship vessel come in every week. It means income for vendors, income for taxi operators on a weekly basis. I can say that this loss of Carnival Cruise Lines to Dominica is clearly the result of inefficiency on the part of the Ministry of Tourism, especially the chief executive, who is the minister.
He says the level of attention that has been paid to the cruise lines over the years has declined. This needs to be addressed immediately if we want any sort of revolution with the cruise industry.
You walk about town, you speak to cruise visitors, and clearly, whilst they are not saying this to the media, but their feeling in Dominica is not as good as it used to be. And they speak about the state of the town being untidy. They speak about the vendors' facilities being not up to standard. And the vendors' facilities, the improvement of the vendors' facilities here on the Bayfront, at the Rosa Market, and at the Old Market, these are things I have brought to Parliament for the past 5 years.
His biggest concern is that government does not know how to rebuild the tourism industry or get the cruise lines that they have lost. He emphasizes that they need to put resources behind resurrecting the industry for the good of all Dominicans.
You look at the marketing budget for tourism, and it's at the same low level it has been for the past 5 or 6 years. About a $4.5 million being provided for tourism promotion. Even so, of the small amount of money that is being provided for tourism promotion, the monies, the NDC or the Discover Dominica is not even sure whether they will get the full amount, because part of it has been put under capital expenditure. So they are not even sure whether they can promote the destination.
The former tourism minister is asking government to take this situation more seriously before it is too late. The Dominica Film Office is encouraging Dominicans to participate in its 4th Traveling Caribbean Film Showcase. The showcase is supported by UNESCO and supported by the Cuban Institute of Art and Cinematography Industry in collaboration with CARICOM. Mrs. Anita Bully, Dominica's film commissioner, says the showcase will bring together works from 40 filmmakers from 15 Caribbean countries. This year it is dedicated to the Caribbean diaspora.
And persons who have left their countries and are producing films, and they're also local films that deal with travels and the culture and the problems that they face.
The collection will include feature-length films as well as shorts, animation documentaries, and reveals the realities and challenges of Caribbean immigrants in the region and the greater diaspora. Mrs. Bully says there will also be some animation for children as part of the showcase.
We have films for adolescents, and these two, the ones for children and adolescents, we'll do it just before Christmas when the kids have a little slack time after exams. So we'll most likely do that at the Arawak House of Culture. But this weekend we're dealing with, we're going to have a mixture of some documentaries, some short films, as well as feature films.
The film office is trying to make Dominicans realize that we also have stories to tell, and we need to start writing our own stories.
To date, Dominica has not had any entries into the Traveling Film Showcase. And we are hoping that they can see that they can do what other people in the Caribbean are doing as well, and then come up with some stories, so that there is a call at present for films for the 5th Caribbean Traveling Film Showcase. So we hope that some people can come together and do something. So Dominica has an entry next year.
The films will be played at the Alias Frances on Elmsall Road from Thursday the 8th to Saturday the 10th, beginning at 7:30 p.m. She hopes that Dominicans will come to support the film being shown. The film, The Orchid House, which was filmed in Dominica, will also be shown. Entrance is free. And a number of Dominicans' best talents was displayed on stage as the cultural gala was held as part of the Dominica's celebration of the 34 years of independence. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Chief Cultural Officer Mr. Raymond Lawrence pointed out that if it was not for this gala, Dominica's culture may not have been as rich as it presently is. He said even after 34 years, Dominica is still doing well in terms of celebrating its rich, unique culture.
And it fits right in with the theme for this year, which I think has really caught on, and Dominicans have really sort of claimed that theme, partnering for further progress and development, because I think we all realize that we cannot do it alone. We need the help of other people, whether it's in our family, whether it's in our workplace. We need to work as a team in helping to achieve the goals that we set out to achieve. And on a wider level, government, private sector, business places, and population at large, we all have to work together to help to continue to build this beautiful country of ours. So
he added that we need to carry the theme of this year's independence celebrations onto next year and the years to come, as it speaks to uniting, and through unity we can achieve great goals for Dominica. Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, Honorable Justina Charles, says she is very impressed with the level of work done by the Cultural Division in organizing the various activities.
If we were to look back 34 years ago and look at where we are now, we will realize the amount of progress that we have made. However, this year we have adopted the theme partnering for further progress and development. It means, therefore, that there is plenty more work to be done. And in order to achieve all of what we want to achieve, we need all hands on deck. And we need them in all spheres of our development. We need you, and I want to commend all those who have been partnering with us throughout the celebration.
Mrs. Charles said we not only have to look at the various performances, but what we have done as individuals to make meaningful contributions to the development of this nation. She is impressed when she sees the amount of young persons participating in the various cultural activities from start to end.
Too often that we do not recognize the effort of our young people. Our young people are full of potential, are full of talent, and this afternoon will be testimony of what our young persons can do. And I really want to applaud our young persons for their involvement and their partnership. And it says to us in Dominica that our culture is alive and we can ensure that sustainability of that part of our development. Let me congratulate all the winners, all those who've participated in the various semi-final, the cultural finals, and those will be here today. Let me commend and congratulate all the winners of the various show, our Miss Wop, our Madam Wop, and all the others who've been very good and who happen to emerge winner. But in addition to all of that, I want to say to all of those who've participated, you are all winners. And it is because of your potential and your ability, that is why you were selected by your schools, by your communities to represent you. And so you are all winners. What we want to do is to encourage you to work harder so that you can excel in the future.
At the gala, a number of dance groups, Island Wild, entertained the crowd in ballet, jingping, quadrille and flotation, among other cultural dances. Groups who won in their district competitions were given their prizes. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.
The management and staff of SAT Telecommunications Limited wishes the government and the people of Dominica
a happy independence.
SAT Telecoms. And I'm Tutuni. Big up, one love.
You are watching SAT Telecom, the people's choice, you heard? Alright, Jungle set up shop. Rima man set up shop. Yo, gang to the Zilla, you're watching Sat Telecom, people them choice. Hear that, Rasta.
Hello, I'm Christian Abidal of Zouk Machine. You know that Sat TV is the people's choice?
In Dominica, there is an extraordinary doctor. And on of others join a God. Hey, this is Sai, and you're watching Sat TV. Big up Sat, big up Sat, big up Sat.
This is Ashley Thomas, and you're locked on the Sat Telecoms.
Sat TV. Drink your drink. Sat TV. Sat Telecom. Sat TV. Crossfire the bomb. Sat TV. Dominica the norm. TV. Yeah man, Sat TV, Crossfire.
The people's choice.
That's
for real.
right.
It's only when we unite as one, then a lot more thing can be done. Stop this useless fight down, killing out your own brother man. Time we rise and all realize we have an enemy in disguise, standing right in the mix of you. Got to know who is who. This is Derek Peters and you're watching Sat TV. That's what I have, Sat TV. Sat TV, that's the way to go. Rah! To the world. Ooh diddy, ooh diddy, ooh diddy.